Hi, welcome to my channel. I am excited to be doing my very first makeup tutorial, if you can call it that. Maybe we should call it a demo or a get ready with me because I'm no makeup artist. But I just thought I would take you along with me as I do my everyday routine, tips and tricks, favorite products. I will tell you that it was a little challenging juggling the mirror, the camera, the products. So it's a little bit rough, but it was fun. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's do this. All right, let's get started. Every day I go in with my Elta MD tinted sunscreen. This is SPF 44. In the winter, this is tinted. In the winter, the tint is just ever so slightly too dark for my winter skin. So I have been mixing 2 pumps of the Elta MD with 1 pump of the It CC cream in light, and together they're magic. It's really all the coverage I need most days. It CC cream alone as a foundation is a little too heavy for my preference, but by blending them together I get a really lovely light medium coverage. So I'm going to take about 2, a little bit more pumps of the Elta MD and 1 pump of the It CC cream. That's a pretty good chunk. You want to make sure that you're putting enough sunscreen on. The most common mistake people make is not applying enough sunscreen. Blending it between my fingers, you can see it there, and I just apply it evenly around my face. And I really just rub it in like a moisturizer. So I'm looking for even, smooth coverage. Down the neck, into the ears, under the eyes, on the eyelids, and on the forehead. I don't go right directly next to my hairline. Makeup in the hairline is not a cute look, so I go about 1/4 inch away from it, and later I will blend that with a sponge. So let me just finish the blending. Okay, that looks good. Okay. All right, that is blended. I have a tiny little pink spot on my forehead, which you can still see. So this is, again, a light medium coverage. Okay. Then you need to let that set for about 15 minutes. It's a very, right now it's very tacky and very glowy, but if I let it sit on my skin for about 15 minutes, then I can come back and do the rest of my makeup. Sunscreen has set down for about 15 minutes. It is much less tacky, it is much less glowy, although still sort of a pretty radiant finish. And I forgot to show you during my application, I had mentioned I don't get sunscreen too close to my hairline, about 1/4 inch away, and then I take my pink L'Oreal Beauty sponge and I just use that to eliminate any line of demarcation between the sunscreen mixture and my hairline. I also take that a little bit on my eyebrows because I don't want sunscreen to build up in there either. My next step is color correcting these dark under eye blue circles. My current corrector is the Naked Skin creamy or liquid corrector. This is in the color Peach. Peach is, or orange, is on the opposite side of the color wheel from blue. So this will actually cancel out the blue versus covering up the blue. If I just went in with concealer in it, I would have to use quite a bit of concealer to actually cover the blue, and what happens is either it looks cakey or the blueness shows through and it just looks gray and dark. So for me, color correcting is a huge step that really helps minimize my circles. So I am just going to use my handy mirror here, and I apply minimal product only on the actual blue areas themselves. The reason you want to use minimal product is the less product, the better. Too much product can get cakey. So then I take my Real Techniques, this is the crease brush, and I just use this to press it in. I'm not swiping because that will just wipe it away into my dark blue circles, and I'll do this side as well. Then I'll take my finger and just finish pressing it in. And you can see that is quite corrected from previously. I think I need just a dab more. Again, better to go in light and add more if needed than to go in too heavy. Pressing. Now that doesn't look orange or even peachy under my eyes. I do find it to be brightening, so I don't go in with very much concealer. My next step is I'm going to take my Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Concealer. This is in the shade Light Medium, and my eyelids are also somewhat discolored. So I'm going to take a swipe there and a swipe there. Take the same crease brush, and I'm just blending that in from lash line to eyebrow, and this cancels out any darkness on my eyelid and gives a nice brightening effect. Put a little bit on the corner there where I get a little darkness, and I'll take whatever is left on my brush and go over that peach corrector. Other side, same thing, lash line to eyebrow. Just evening everything out, outer corner, and pat it over the corrector. And that is my concealer routine. Minimal product, hopefully maximum, result. All right, so today I am going to go in with just a little bit more coverage with a very, very light coverage foundation. This is the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. I love this. This has a light, medium, radiant, but not dewy finish. I avoid matte foundations because I think that makes my skin look a little bit too dry. This has one of these huge doe foot applicators. I would definitely prefer a pump, but I just swipe a few. I just get some on the back of my hand, and I'm going to take my Real Techniques fluffy buffing brush, and I spray that with a little bit of my Eldridge moisturizing setting spray, and that just helps ensure a very lightweight application. So I just take that foundation and work it very well into this brush. And then what I'm going to do is just use this brush to place it evenly around my face. I do go over my eyes, over my under eyes, to sort of blend that corrector concealer mix in. And you can see I'm really putting very minimal product on. Okay. Down the neck, into the ears. So I really just use the brush to apply an even layer, and then I go in with my L'Oreal Beauty Sponge. I love this, it's very soft, and I just finish pushing it into the skin so it's seamless, there's no lines. Into the nose. And it's one with the skin. Oh, I have a hair. Where's that hair? Sometimes if I have a hair, I just use a little, yeah, there we go. Okay, concealer, foundation, done. Now it is slightly tacky, and before I go in with any powder products, if you go in with like a powder blush over tacky foundation, it'll stick, it won't blend very easily. So I go in with my favorite, all-time favorite powder. I love this stuff. This is the Hourglass Ambient Powder. This is in the shade Diffused Light. It is a beautiful powder. It is glowy but not shimmery, and it is so finely milled that it does not ever show up in lines and wrinkles. Most powders on me make me look cakey and about 10 years older than I am. Not this powder. I love it. So I'm just going in with a Real Techniques Fluffy. This is a blush brush actually. And I'm just going to use that to pat this into my skin, mostly to just take the tackiness down and prepare my skin for powder products over the eyes. Okay. Everything is nicely set. Now for eyeshadow. My main goals with my eyeshadow are to do a few things. Contour, sculpt, define, and make my eyes look bigger. What I'm dealing with are hooded eyes, and what that means is that the above the crease is falling down, making my mobile lid look small and making overall my eyes look smaller. So what I'm going to do is try to use dark colors to recede that hood and light colors on my mobile lid to bring it forward. My go-to eyeshadow palette is this Tartelette in Bloom. I'm going to go into this creamy white color called Charmer, and I'm just working that all over the lid and up to the brow bone. This is primarily just to set that concealer and make sure my eyeshadow doesn't crease, and this also makes it easier to blend the darker colors. It also is sort of a preliminary brow bone highlight. When you have highlight up by your brows, it does tend to lift your eyes, which is one of my goals. Then I'm going to go into, I hate to use two eyeshadow palettes, but this Tartelette in Bloom doesn't have the right taupey color that I really prefer. Well, maybe it does. My preferred taupe is in this Naked Basics 2 palette. This is a really great, super basic, that's why it's called Basics, matte palette. It has some cream colors, a taupey gray color, a taupey brown color, and then it just keeps going darker. As you can see, this color here called Frisk is my most used color, and that is the color I'm going to use today. So I just take my brush, dip it in there a little bit, tap it off. You don't want to have eyeshadow falling down onto your cheek when you are applying it. And I have to use a magnifying mirror. So I will start in the outer area of my eye, just above my crease, and I'm going to work that into the transition area and a little bit into the outer corner of the eye. And I go in with just a little bit at a time. I'm going to do one eye at a time to save time here. Better to build up and add more than to try to take away. It's pretty hard to remove eyeshadow once you've put it on. So again, I'm just going for a very light defining contour. One of the things with eyeshadow and lifting the eye is you don't want eyeshadow to go, if you draw a line from the outer corner of your eye to your eyebrow, you don't want eyeshadow to go below that area, because if you have dark eyeshadow below that area, it will pull your eye down. And everything that I'm doing with my makeup and my eyeshadow is to try to lift everything up. Okay, so that's good. Now, that alone, I think you can see, has made a bit of a difference. I like to warm it up. I'm wearing pink today. I really love this dusty, rosy, light medium color in here. It's a matte. It's called Sweetheart. I'm going to grab a little bit of that, tap my brush off, and I'm just going to try and warm up that gray color. So just below that gray color and sort of into the crease itself, I'm just applying a little bit of that dusty, pretty rosy color. Dusty, pretty rosy color. I find that when I wear rosy tones, mauvey tones, plummy tones, it does make my eyes look greener, and it looks nice with my pink sweater. Okay, so that's nice and warmed up. Then, and this is maybe not the sequence that a lot of people do, I'm going to go in with a little bit of this slightly darker plummy brown color with, this is actually a brush I got in a Flower Beauty eyeshadow palette. It's a really nice brush. It's smaller, so it can fit right into that outer corner. And I'm just going to take a little tiny bit of that, tap it off, and I'm going to take this and go just into that outer corner and directly into the crease to, again, deepen that socket line and make it look like my hooded eyes are not quite as hooded as they are. Then I will take my same blending brush and blend that all in. Okay. Don't want any lines, just a nice soft haze of color. Okay, that's the eyeshadow. Well, one more step here. I'm going to go into this color here. It is a peachy, not peachy, it's a pinky beige color, and it's a little bit shimmery. And I know I said I don't like to use shimmer, but this has just enough shimmer to bring the eyelid forward. And like I said, dark colors in the crease and in the transition area to push back the hood, but I want to highlight my mobile eyelid and make that come out a little bit. So I'm going to use this pinky beige shimmery color and apply that just to the inner part of my mobile lid, going into the center a little bit. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. And you can see that that makes my eyelid come forward a little bit. And I'll take, and I'm just going to make sure that everything is blended in very nicely. That's the eyeshadow. I don't do this eyeshadow every single day. I almost always put a darker taupey color in the crease, but I may not, you know, go in with the additional other colors. Then what I do every day, regardless of whether I'm wearing any eyeshadow or not, is I will tight line my lid. And I'm using Physicians Formula. These come in a package of 3. They're like $10, so they're super cheap. They are pencil eyeliners. It comes in a black, which I give away because I don't wear black eyeliner, a dark brown, and then a taupey brown. And so I'm going to use the dark brown to tight line my upper eyelid, or lash line, I should say. And what tight lining is applying eyeliner under and into the lash line. I don't like to apply eyeliner above the lash line because I have very limited lid space, and I don't want to donate my lid space to an eyeliner. But to get the definition, tight lining works really well. So what I do to apply that, how I apply the tight line is I close my eye halfway, and then I just rub the eyeliner under the lash line. Under, and sort of scrub it into the lashes themselves. Into and between the lashes, but not above. Go a little bit there. A little bit there. And I think you can see the difference between the tight lined eye and the other eye. Okay. So that is tight lining. Then I'm going to take the taupier eyeliner and I'm going to apply that under on my lower lash line. I'm going to show you the color difference between these two because I would not want to, okay, So there's the dark brown for the upper tight line, and there is the more taupey, nudie brown for the lower lash line. I do not like to put a dark eyeliner on my lower lash line. I think that drags the eye down. However, I do want a little bit of definition on the lower lash line. So I will just rub that along the lower lash line. Pretty subtle, but it does make a difference. Yep, do you see the difference there? Then I'm going to go right into my eyebrows. I use two products. This is, I've been using this one for years. This is the Benefit Gimme Brow. This is in the shade 3. And eyebrows are important. I am going for a fluffy, natural, more defined eyebrow, but not an overly made up or sculpted eyebrow. So I just take this and work it. Whoa, yeah, that's not good. Can always correct little mistakes. Okay, I need a mirror for this. Take this and just apply it like mascara. It does have little fibers, so it is thickening. It does have a tint, so it's also darkening. And it just helps give gotta clean that one up. Gives the brows a little bit more definition. However, the second half, or the tail of my eyebrow, I don't have a lot of hair down back there, so I'm going to take a little eyebrow powder. This is a Rimmel eyebrow powder in the color brown, blonde, and it comes with a little angled eyebrow brush, and I'll just work that into the tail of my brow and a little bit throughout, just to make sure I don't have any bare spots. So really quick, easy, natural brow. Then I'm going to go on with mascara. My favorite mascara product is this L'Oreal Eyelash Primer. This will make your eyelashes much thicker and much longer. I'm not going to show you my mascara application because we've all seen someone do mascara, but how I do it is I apply this and I let it set maybe 10 seconds, but I don't want it to dry, because if I apply the mascara over it when it's dry, the mascara doesn't stick as well to it, and if I apply the mascara right away before it has a chance to set, the mascara just sort of wipes the primer off. So I'll go in with my primer, and then I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara, which I've been using for 15 years, and it works great. So I'm going to go off camera, finish this eye, and then I'm going to show you the difference between the made-up eye and the not made-up eye. Mascara on, and there is the completed eye compared to my no makeup eye. And hopefully I'm achieving my goal of disguising the hood, bringing forward my mobile lid, making my eyes look bigger, and just trying to lift everything. The mascara, I did put a little mascara on my lower lash line, which I don't always do, but I recently got this It Cosmetics Tight Line Mascara, which has a super fine little wand, and it puts just the tiniest amount of mascara on the lower lashes, and I think that looks pretty. I do use Revitalash. I started Revitalash about a year ago, and it has made a huge difference in my eyelashes. When I first started it, I used it every night. It comes just with a little like eyeliner brush, and every night you apply it at the lash line, sweep, sweep. So I used it every night for about 2 months. I got some great length and fullness, and then I backed off to about every, 3 or 4 times a week, and I've been able to maintain some pretty good lashes, and I love it. It's expensive. I know there are some less expensive eyelash serums out there, but this one works so well for me that I'm afraid to try anything else. there is the eye makeup. I'm going to go off camera, finish the other eye, and then we will do blush, lipstick, and we'll be done. The eyes got a little bit more dramatic than I had intended. Most of the time for every day, I would not have gone in with that darker, plummier brown. I would have just stuck with the Charmer, this color, and that taupey color from the Naked palette. But today, since I went in with this darker, plummier brown, it got a little bit more dramatic than I would use on a daily basis. But that's okay. Makeup is fun. The next thing is blush. And before I go in with my blush, I'm going to apply a highlighter. This, I broke down and bought this. This is Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish. Very unique product. It adds a glow, but not a shimmery highlight. It highlights without shimmer, and shimmer around lines will just accentuate the lines. So what I will do is I will just place this, I've got hair there, oh boy. I will place this on the high points of my cheekbones and a little bit down to the apple of my cheek. That's what it looks like before it's blended in. I absolutely love this product. I'll take my L'Oreal sponge and just sort of work that in. I like to work it into the apple of the cheek because I think that gives the apple a nice little lifted look. And you can see that just gives such a pretty glowy highlight. I love it. It lifts, and that's the goal with makeup, for me anyway. Then I'm going to go in with my blush. My favorite blush right now, Hourglass Ambient Powder Blush. This is in the color Mood Exposure. This is an absolutely gorgeous, silky, soft, glowy, absolutely beautiful blush. I will apply the powder blush. I'm using a Sephora powder brush. This is the brush 55.5, very soft. And I just tap it into the blush. And I'm going to work from the outside down. With blush, I don't, you know, in the old days we used to smile, do the apples of our cheeks. The problem now is when you do that, do the apples of your cheeks, and you're not smiling, that apple falls and it drags your face down. So I try to keep my blush high on the perimeter of my face. So I'm going to start there and work my way forward. And I try not to go too far down. Again, that will drag your face down. Work it into the ear, work it into the hairline, and just gently apply that. I think you can see that. It's so pretty. I just love it. Same thing over here. Start high, stay pretty high on the cheekbone, work it into the hairline, into the ear. I don't like to go overboard on blush, but I do think a little nice rosy color really does wonders for waking your face up. I do go a little bit into the center of my face, but not too far down. And what that does, by putting the blush on after the highlighter, I think the highlighter sort of peeks out under the blush. I think that's a really pretty look. Then to make sure the blush is blended perfectly, I'm going to go back in with my Hourglass Ambient Lighting in the diffuse light, and I'm just going to use that to sort of blend the edges. Make sure everything is soft and diffused and seamless. If you go in overboard with your blush, you can take a little powder and buff it down, and that will take away some of the color. But I'm not trying to take away the color right now. I'm just trying to make sure the edges are nice and blended. And that's my blush look. I typically don't go in with a sculpting. I feel like my face is already angular enough. In the summer, I'll wear bronzer, you know, just to give a little sun-kissed look, but I don't typically sculpt. The one area where I do like to sculpt is my jawline. I'm going to use the Milk Makeup. This is a cream bronze stick. This is in the color Baked. And I'm going to use this to try to sculpt and make my jawline look more defined, firmer, and minimize the jowls. So I'm just going to draw a line sort of to the side and under, not on top, right on that jawline. You see that? Straight line, a little bit under the chin. Then I'm going to take a Real Techniques buffing brush, or I'm not sure what kind of brush this is, and just blend it down. There. And what that is supposed to do, and I think it does help a little bit, is just give a contour and a definition and tighten up that jawline. I like to do that. I think it works. Lastly is lipstick. I'm going to show you 3 products. The first one is my Holy Grail L'Oreal Color Riche Shine, and this is in the color Varnished Rosewood. This is a very beautiful, glossy, moisturizing, sheer lipstick, and this color in particular for me is my perfect nude lip color. So I'm going to show you what this look. I'm going to swatch it on my arm for you. You can see it's sort of a nude. Well, for me it's nude. It's a mauvey, rosy, pinky nude. And I'm going to show you what this looks like alone, and then I'm going to take it off and do my usual lipstick routine. This is what I keep it in my purse. This is my on-the-go everyday weekend, wherever I'm going. This is my basic #1 lip color. So okay, I think you can see how soft, natural, pretty that is. I really love it. Like I said, it's my everyday ride or die, can't live without. I think I must have gone through about 10 of them in the last couple of years, and if they ever stop making that lip color, I will be very unhappy. So I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to show you lip liner and the lipstick that I wear. This isn't really long lasting, and I want to amp up the color a little bit. To give my lips just a little bit more definition and to minimize the lipstick from feathering up into the lip lines, I will use a lip pencil. This is by NYX. This is just a browny, rosy, nudie color, and I will just use it to follow my lip line. I don't go outside of my lip line. So let's line the lips. I don't want a lined lip look, so I use the flat side of the brush and sort of blur that line so I don't look like I have lip liner on. Then I'm going to go in with my absolute favorite lipstick. This is by Lisa Eldridge. I love her. She came out with some wonderful lip colors last Christmas, and I bought this. This is in the color Muse. It is beautiful. And you can see it goes very nicely with that Varnished Rosewood. This is a matte lip color. I do not prefer matte. However, it is not a drying matte. It is very pigmented. It feels very creamy and moisturizing. And the reason I use this is because it lasts a long time on the lips. Love it. Such a beautiful color. That is the Lisa Eldridge lipstick in the color Muse. Because I don't prefer a matte finish on my lipstick, I will go in with my L'Oreal Color Riche Shine in the color Varnished Rosewood. and just top that off to give a little gloss and shine to my lips. That is, ooh, having a hair day, aren't I? Okay. So that is my finished makeup look. My whole goal with makeup is to lift, define, highlight, make my eyes look bigger, make my cheeks look higher, make my jaw look more defined, and make my skin look as pretty as possible. It was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear what your tips and tricks are, favorite products, fails, all that type of stuff. I would love it if you would subscribe and join my little tiny baby YouTube community so that we can have fun. And thanks for joining me, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.